Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, we're back for the second game of the semi-final matchup between Austin, scoring never stops, Shin, and Harshan at Lamabadusuriya. Austin immediately picking out. Scoring is not going to be quite as much as I originally thought. Hold on. Okay, so Austin's picked out what you would think would be a great rack straight away, and then it's actually a great second move rack.
Apparently in the first game something similar happened where he was going second, had a great first move rack.
Yeah.
So no bonus here, right?
There are no bonuses here.
I like.
Initially, Exchange K wasn't included by Quackle, so I've put it in just to see out of interest. Quackle's quite liking Elk, keeping EIRS. But actually, there are a lot of plays that sim within 1% of each other. Exchange K is 58.9, KI 59.8. I guess the reason it likes not playing like is it's a great rack, so you want to keep as much synergy as you can. And yeah, sure enough, he's played Elk. He's played it in the best position as well, creating the S hook. Given that he's keeping the S, seems to be a natural play. Now, interestingly, I was about to say this before Harshan put it on his rack. Faggoted cannot be spelt with a double T.
Mm-hmm.
And Harshan has that perplexed look on his face of someone who's trying to work out. Yeah, that's right.
Coolly taking a sip of coffee or water.
If I could interject, I've annotated his last game. He had that perplexed look with baby bingo racks. That's very telling.
It's
just constantly perplexed.
Perpetually
perplexed.
Perpetually perplexed. It's sort of like Nigel is perpetually looking down on you no matter what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that in the quarterfinals. He had this sort of resting disgusted face.
So Harshan's considering golf, which, I mean, the synergy is great. Simulations suggesting the correct spelling of faggoted for just 13 points from H3.
It's mine.
It's a really tough position because, I mean, apart from faggoted, it's impossible to keep anything really decent. T's and D's aren't great together without an E.
This sort of position where if you're not sitting in the semifinals of the World Championship, you just play faggoted with 2 T's because that's what the rack does.
Yeah. Second choice in the sim at the moment is Kofta, keeping DGT, but I guess that's simply because it's the highest score.
Yeah.
So he's got Daft. He's going to play Golf, which leaves the G for cringers. So we now expect cringers to go down immediately. It's fairly obvious that there's no other.
Yep.
Bingo.
And this gets the scoring
There
started.
it goes. The scoring
Alright.
has started. Hashtag cringers.
Now the ATTD, it's going to be, if he gets an E, it could save the rack. If he gets another couple of consonants, he could be in trouble. Hello. What's the last one? Oh, he's got the E. He's got costated.
It sounds like a personal problem.
So yeah, that was probably the best pick. I mean, he's got codetas as well as the anagram costated. Probably one of the best pickups he could have hoped for, really, given that really clunky keep. Toasted from a defensive point of view is probably a better play. I mean, you sacrifice a single point, but you don't leave the S next to the double letter score or the D next to the double letter score. But he's playing codetas. Not terrible. You are leaving the A next to the double letter score as well, so whatever your opponent gets on the triple word, you might be able to recoup from the double. Codetas showing not too far behind Toasted though.
Yeah, it's interesting when you create an opening like that. You have to think about how your opponent's going to take advantage of it, first of all, but also have the second order of thought of how are you going to take advantage of what your opponent does to take advantage. So if Austin does make a play in the D column at D12, then Harshan obviously is going to have a shot at a 9-timer back. But it could just as easily be, a play at 12D horizontally through the A and maybe putting a big tile at, 12H, in which case your only comeback would be like down H12 to the triple.
So Austin, the scores more or less the same, the 6 points each. I mean, I at this point would be eyeing up either Pomade or Moop. Pomade played fairly quickly, and Harshan has done his fair share of picking. And has a really nice play off the P. Certainly one he'll be writing home about with pen point for 83.
That's the sort of find that you hope the players will be making in a semi-final of a world championship.
Although, ironically, they'd probably find it more likely in a local tournament because at the moment, Harshan's going to be thinking, how do I spell faggoted?
Yeah. Did I make that? Did I just miss that in front of everyone?
Plenty of options here of possible bonuses. I mean, pen point, unsurprisingly, is the best of the bunch. It's the highest scoring. But imponent through the M of pomade. Pimenton through the O. Sorry, imponent through the M. Pimenton through the O.
So they each have a blank there.
Yeah, Austin's
Yep.
also got a blank, but he doesn't have a playable bonus on his own. So Harshan has imponent lined up in his rack, which he's circled. Is he playing it? No. So the score is currently Austin 115, Harshan 85. Point men is one of the anagrams of imponent. It's interesting that he's put point man, because you would assume if he knows opponents as well, that's clearly better because it scores more. I mean, maybe he shouldn't be too worried about the S.
I wonder if he thinks about pointman and thinks about that point, if he'll find his way to pen point.
This is true. I see your point. Well made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Austin has about a 30-point lead, and they're going to probably exchange bingos. Or, I don't know, Austin has 5 vowels with his blank, so we may not hit it right away. But it's still going to be a competitive game after the blanks were exchanged, even if it's a turn or two in the future.
Okay, so he's opting to play Pimenton. C6. The Pimenton is it's simming third at the moment. It's a couple of percentage points behind pen point. 7 points fewer.
Yeah, it's probably a missive pen point, but I would imagine it's a choice on imponent.
Yeah. Agreed.
Which, doesn't open up the S hook in row 15. Is it worth giving up a couple points to not open that up? I'd probably take the points.
Two S's gone already. You've got one of the blanks.
And aside from an S starting bingo, it's kind of an awkward position for the S to be in.
And there's no inference that your opponent has an S by playing Pomade.
Yeah. It would be pretty random at that point.
Scoring will take a bit of a delay, and the highest score that Austin has without the blank at the moment is 18 for Kago. The sim is suggesting Fogey, which seems to be a somewhat scary play, particularly given that it would give Harshan caddy.
Yeah, please don't play Fogey.
It needs a D for Tzaddiks.
Wow.
Which he's not going to get.
Shouldn't think so.
No. Is that a Spanish footballer? So KAIE has now gone to the top of Sim, which is more reasonable, I think, than Fogey.
If I were in Austin's seat, I'd probably burn a couple minutes looking for 9s through the T's or through the NT or through the NS. Some consonants floating to soak up your extra vowels.
Yeah, you've got
And then I'd spend 20 seconds wondering why I didn't spend more time with the 5 vowel 9s.
almost got nose gaiety, the state of being a nose gay.
It's actually spelled with a Y.
Yep. And that point has been brought up in the chat that, Austin is going to spend a couple minutes looking for 9s.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly reasonable.
You would think he would know reflexively that there are no 8s with this on this board.
Yeah. And the eulogia and it's not there.
Yeah.
And then the question becomes what to do.
Never the right floaters for geophages when you want to tell your opponent to eat dirt. I've got some interest in playing Agio actually at F11. Given that, as we were saying earlier on, 2S is gone, other blank gone, you've got the blank, you're 46 behind. It's unlikely to get blocked. Keeping EE blank.
previous game, after 3 turns, Harshan was up 190 to 67.
Wow.
So this is much more hopeful already for Austin.
We're joined in the commentary room by Terry Kang Rao.
And you were the annotator for the first round game against
Yes, I
these
was.
two. Yep.
Yeah.
Does the sim still like Fogey?
No,
I'm surprised.
but not
Yeah,
by
I'm not
very,
surprised.
very, very fractional. So on 40.77 is KAIE, but Fogey is not far behind on 39.54. So it's still just 1 percentage point in
Don't
it.
think as many players would play Fogey.
No.
Or you can consider it.
Mm. I'd consider it.
Yeah.
But there's no point when you're this far behind. Well, he's not that far behind, but he will be if he plays Fogey for no good reason.
Mhm.
And Harshan did win the first match of this set, 522 to 379. So, you know, it's time for the scoring to go in the second
Yeah.
gear.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
It was actually
So-
4 bingos to 0 in the first
Wow.
game.
Wow.
And it's already 2-1 in this.
So Austin had a
Is he
game with
playing
a bonus.
OE?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, 2 bingos to 1. No, there was no bingo. No bingos. He made an 81-point play, spending his blank with a vines.
So Austin has opted for foe,
Hmm.
which is just 1.5% behind KAIE. I don't think it's bad. I think the GAIE is pretty good. Yeah, obviously Harshan's now bemoaning to himself the fact he can't play Sadiqs.
And you could tell by the look on his face.
Yeah, that's. I know. When I play, I try to have a poker face. Try to look pretty, just sort of disinterested in what's going on in general. So you can't read too much into, you know, how excited or unexcited your opponent looks.
Austin needs a floating C for gynecia, which I believe is a word.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it may have come up in a high-profile game recently.
Yeah.
That's an easy spot.
Not with the first 5 out of the bag at A-A-E-I-Y and you're 176 down. So the clearest high score here is Ditz. D12 down, making Oda Nis. It's risky because you're effectively going to give back almost as many as you score. But Harshan is already 34 up, so it would put him a good bingo in front.
Yeah, I mean the other thing after Ditz, your only Q spot is, you know, in the A column there into the T of Pimenton, I think. So you're also kind of.
You have the Eye of Cringers if you need to get rid of it.
Yeah, or you can drop it. So it does sort of doom yourself to wasting a turn next turn to deal with the Q, unless you draw an I for the QIS in the L column there, or something like that.
So something like Cades, you pick an E, you've got Zetas for 48 next move. This is the point where Nigel plays off AI.
Plays out AI and somehow
And
scores 120 over the next
Yeah.
2 turns.
Yeah. Somehow setting up both the Q and the Z.
Yeah. Well, Harshan's considering Mothercoot playing Caddy to create a position to play down the side because he's keeping the eye. There are 6 eyes unseen from his point of view, though. That Sim's 5% behind Ditz. Often, if there's a difference of 5%, I say that classifies as an error. So the scores now: Harshan 185, Austin Shin 127. Austin really needs to we need to score big, and again, there are no big scoring plays here for him.
And Harshan has drawn Zastrugi.
Oh my
through
goodness.
The A.
He has drawn Zastrugi.
Well,
And that's seems unlikely to be blocked.
will he see it?
Yeah. Well,
He hasn't seen it yet, I don't think, because he's put it into alphagram. Now he's seen it. No, yes, he has, but he's trying to get it in the right order because he's too excited. No, that's not how you spell it.
Close.
Yay! It reminds me when I was commentating on Nigel's game in Warsaw, the Warsaw final, when he had there was a V floating and he had TOLARJE on his rack, and I did ask the audience whether he would see it. I've got a feeling that he might play this. Now, Yagi at B12 is a very aggressive play, but actually, given the context, would be the ideal play in this situation. Putting an A out at B15, however, would not be.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is you know, as a common concept, if there's an opening that you can't take advantage of, and that H1 spot, you know, could be potentially dangerous. I mean, he's probably not putting Harshan on a bingo through the A, but you know, then you want to create another opening as a counterplay.
He's playing Yagi.
Playing Yegi's up there.
Okay. That blocks Zastrugi.
That does block Zastrugi.
Wow. Okay.
That was unexpected.
That's simming 2 points fewer than Yagi down at B12, but actually in context, that's a pretty good move.
Yeah, I mean, as it were, it's
yeah.
really lucky. In general, that's not the sort of thing you'd want to do while behind by, you're going to need to get a bingo to catch up.
Yeah.
And that move sort of starts to box in and exhaust the space in the top half of the board. So it'll be, yeah, I guess holding the second blank, you know, you want to put yourself in a position where after you play your bingo, when you get it, you want to have somewhat good control of the board, so your turns leading up to playing the bingo can be more closed in that way. But yeah, that was a pretty big turn of fortune there.
Zastrugi, I believe, is one of many words for snow.
It's a shelf of ice, I believe.
Shelf of ice, there we go. And is one of only 2 8s from guitars plus a blank, the other being Sastrugi.
What does that mean?
I think it might be a variation.
I think the singular is Sastruga.
Sastruga, absolutely, it's Sastruga. Sim's favouring just scoring through and playing Ritz at this point. Which it's saying has an 87% chance of winning. I'm going to include Austin's current rack and see what it says about that.
Yeah. Harshan is considering several options.
seems like many of those options are Ritz, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be giving him a little Tsuris.
There was a song actually about the Russian leader's opinions on this move called Putin on the Ritz.
Don't laugh at that, it'll just encourage him.
No, I like it.
Security, we have an issue in the commentary box.
No, it's so bad it's good.
So yeah, simulation agrees. That was an awful joke.
Update from the other room. We have David Eldar is on 165 and Gautam is on 241.
Oh.
So that's off to a good start for Gautam.
So simulations, well, I don't need to say simulation for this. There's a, inverted commas, obvious bonus through the queue of Paraquet. It's 238 to Harshan, 145 to Austin. So the 84 points from Paraquet would bring, or Paroquet, sorry, I'm being very English. Paroquet would bring Austin right back into it. Still only giving him a 29-ish% chance to win according to Quackle.
Yeah, because a big percentage of the time Harshan's going to have a 40-point Z play back.
Yeah, absolutely. Just not in this time.
Right.
Yeah.
Not in this timeline, but...
So the question is now, I mean, Austin does have the opportunity, he could play Portague here. Portague is the highest scoring play down from the P, it would take out plays across to the Z. That said, how often do you put your opponent on a play to the Z rather than from the Z? I guess more often he's going to play from. So Austin obviously has seen Paraquet.
And for what it's worth, there's 4 T's on the board and 1 on his rack, and so any play into the Z is probably going to be a Ditz or Lutz or Ritz or something and require a T. So it's actually reasonably unlikely that he's pulled 4 ending in Z, unless it's like lulls or rons.
Lulls.
Taos. Stuff.
As a Cheerio.
Yeah.
Austin has Fugu already set up on his rack, which would be a great clearer down the side of Yegi's, keeping SHE. It's interesting, Austin's got Paraquet set up with the Q being the blank, which suggests he's considering it down from the P, in which case Portague is the better play.
Unless there's a side bet that there'll be 3 Qs on the board at the end.
Well, that already would have been lost.
Yeah.
He's playing Taos. That's interesting. Well, Taos in the sim it is included, but it's coming a good 6% behind the bingo plays. I mean, it doesn't do enough, I think, to get Austin back into this game because he's still 51 points behind. And where are the scoring opportunities on this board?
Yeah, it's 40, almost 40 points is a lot to give up. Something like that would be great if he was looking at bonuses that scored 65.
Harshan has immediately played Fugu, which I think it's a fairly obvious play. You see now Austin has clunky rack. And this is the risk that you run. And Harshan has wealth. Nowhere to play it. So the problem that Austin is now faced with is that to balance this rack, he's going to close the board.
Yeah, something like Brava will, have a good
Yeah.
leave, but it'll take out probably one of the best lanes.
Something like Sav. I mean, if you want to burn your S, you're down the side of Fugu, making YUS. Could be good because he's got the blank and there's only 1 S out. You're creating the Gov position, keeping CRB. So things starting blank, CR, ending in B. Who knows? He might play Scrabble.
Yeah.
Of course, that would involve him overdrawing by 1 tile. So let's hope he doesn't. So he plays back, setting up Harshan to play Wealths. Oh no, he doesn't. Sorry.
No,
No.
I don't think it
No, it
goes.
doesn't. No. I thought he played it one to the right, making ebb. Again, this is why I'm here.
Yeah. Austin catches a nice draw after back.
Ooh.
So we'll see. There might be some fight in this dog yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The scoring has not yet completely ceased.
Without any inference, Quackle has WHEAL and Bach as a 95% win for Harshan.
Yeah, that looks pretty solid. It takes out the end column bingo lane.
Yep.
The S ending lane in row 14 it creates is a weak lane.
Yeah.
You're going to pick up another 10 points from the S hook itself, but
it's with no inference, isn't it? And
yeah,
that's on the unlikely event that Austin has a blank or an S.
yeah.
And of course we know he has both.
But even if he does have blank S, playing a bonus on row 14 is going to give something back, at the H15 spot, either down from H12 or parallel underneath. And so, even if the bonus scores, say 70, Harshan should get 30 plus, maybe 40 points back.
Yeah. And Harshan has played the best move available. He's played Wheel, which is the clear favourite.
So that's, over the two turns, if you, the bonus and then the response, Austin will net maybe 40 points. And so Harshan will still have a solid lead after this exchange.
I mean, there are several fairly straightforward high-scoring bingos here, all of which score 96, hooking on Wheel. The question is now whether you decide to really throw it open by playing something like Ivresse for maximum points.
Looks like he has diverse setup on the rack, which is going to be
96.
Yeah, slotting the V.
So it will take him into a lead.
It'll be a small lead, but Harshan will be on turn, and
Harshan's got a play of even something like Twin or Rit down the side of Caddy.
so down goes the bonus.
There goes Diverse.
And Austin has nominally a small lead, but is still down a tempo, realistically.
Now, I guess what the benefit of Diverse is, it leaves questions if Harshan's word knowledge isn't sound. Does it take an R? Does it take a D? Does it take an S? Now, if Austin is confident on what it takes, then that creates a whole different level of question. And the answer is it takes a D and an S.
Another update from the other room. We have got them at 348 and David Eldar on 291. Game is still in progress. They have 5 bonuses on the board between them already. So it sounds like it's quite the barn burner.
Okay, so Harshan's got Whist lined up in his rack, which suggests he does know that Diverse takes an S. Simming quite highly is the play that obviously Nigel Richards is hacking into my computer to give me, which is H2 win.
That is generally a good command.
I've this superstition about not playing win. When I play win, I lose 90% of the time.
There are a couple of, not a huge number of scoring opportunities on this board, but still an IX play down the side of Caddy to be aware of. With the M, there's potential to play down the side of Fugu. The X play in particular would be quite a selfish one because you're not really giving anything back to the opponent.
Win.
Yeah, win's an interesting option.
Uh-huh.
Is there are no... Okay, there's a duplicate I left, but apart from that, everything else combines really well with the keep.
Yeah. And it's going to be really difficult to block for any score.
Although Harshan would... Well, how much does Harshan worry about diversed? Again, we're going back to the first game of Nigel versus David Elder. How much do you worry about the opening that your opponent's just created, and how much do you just maximise what you have?
Yeah, the only thing that could be tricky with Win is that if Harshan does pull just like complete junk, he's given up a bunch of points in what's a really close game. So the worst case scenario is actually reasonably bad, but kind of the median case scenario is probably better.
Yeah. I guess there's a whole lot of situations where you can pick just about any, more or less anything. You don't need a bingo with Win because you're going to be scoring 60 next move, and you can afford to pick the J. You can afford to pick a lot of clunky stuff because.
Yeah.
Unless you're incredibly unlucky.
If you pull like 000, then then your setup scores you like 24
to
clean up. That's your nightmare. Yeah, if you pick up J and V and stuff like that, score with it. You'd need another vowel probably.
Yeah. So winning the sim by less than 1 percentage point at the moment is Twin. Next is Win and Rit. Whist is somewhat behind. Whist is about 6% win. And it does look like Harshan's gone through the thought process actually of discounting Whist. He probably likes the idea of Twin as well, leaving the floating T to get combined with what he's got. Oh, he's back to Whist again.
Yeah, I would probably play Whist, but I don't know if that's right. Taking a big score and taking out what could, if Austin pulls a bingo back, you're basically done. Whereas after Whist, you have a decent score, and your any play that he makes will basically preserve your tempo lead. Maybe he hits the J. Maybe he has Jade. That's going to be your worst case scenario after Whist. Possible there's a bingo through the A, but if that happens, there's not much you can do because there's 2 open A's.
And now Harshan's got Win on his rack, so he's clearly going through everything we've spoken about.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing with Win is that it possibly hedges some bets. Like, if Austin has pulled a bonus, if he does have Jade, something like that, you play Win, then you have a 3-tile draw into a monster play that brings you all the way back. Lots of choices. This is a complicated position.
Absolutely. Yeah. Must be over the years I've known Harshan, I've always taken him for being a bit more of a cautious defensive player, so it doesn't surprise me that he's opted to take out the opening. I mean, in this case, the sim shows it's 5% behind Twin, but you can't really. And now he's wishing he played Win, picking out good tiles. Okay, so Austin's immediately played Lex. Leaves him really bad tiles, but having said that, it's set up the potential for Jedi.
Yeah, there's lots of eyes in the pool, so that's a nice play. All he needs to do is pull one of them and
Pull
hit
one
Jedi.
of the eyes that Harshan has. And he's not picked one. Okay, so we're now in a situation where Harshan is 2 points ahead. Things are getting squeaky. I'd immediately be looking at the position down from the H1 triple again.
So we got Ujima.
Yes.
In the lower spot is blocked, but yeah, Ujima through the A and caddy.
Now, Harshan's lined up BE there. Do you think it's because he's realised that Jedi is a real risk?
Oh man, is
It
there?
does seem
He's got.
You have to think. You have to wonder, like, what are the chances it goes down? Is it an automatic loss if it goes down? Can you hedge a bet? And if you make an H1 play, what's the chance that he has Jedi?
Yeah.
What's the chance that I can pull a bonus at 1A?
Harshan down to 1 minute 44 seconds as well, which is probably why Austin played so quickly. Austin has 6.5 minutes, and Harshan, going in line with what I said about his defensive tendencies, has decided to take out the Jedi position, but he's kept the 2 of the 3 remaining eyes to play down the side of caddy, so maybe he thinks it's a safer risk.
Austin's looking at unjam.
How many are in the bag? Still a bunch, right?
9.
Mm-hmm.
And with Harshan so low on time, it may behoove Austin to just play either Unjam or Ujima or whatever pretty quickly.
Or
Ujima has the advantage that you're not going to give something up H1 into the M.
well, he does have mana down the side of Fugu, that using the M, as I mentioned earlier on, as one of the big scoring potentials on the board. Keeping the J for future score, potential to pick out the remaining A for Jar down the side of Wheels next move. He needs to score heavily now, and he's 26 points behind. He's probably assuming now that Harshan has an I. The only thing about Unjam is it does blow all of his scoring potential. Mana. The other advantage of mana, of course, is that it leaves 4 in the bag. So if Harshan does play a four letter play down the side of caddy, Austin draws, say, Jarl, then he's going to be in the race to go out first, and potentially he could win from that point of view. He's opted to play Unjam, which is simming fair. It's within 1% of mana.
Looks like Harshan is challenging Unjam.
Could be
Mainly because he had Royd set up to go there and it got blocked. And he wishes it weren't good.
That could be critical, because that's 5 points.
It's a super close game. Super close game.
Harshan looks worried.
So
Harshan's now 13 points behind.
13.
And whatever he does, he's got to do it quickly. I
And
think,
he's got
doesn't he?
he's on 1 minute left with tiles in the bag, 13 points behind on a tricky board. It's a difficult position. Difficult position. High drama as we careen towards the end of this match.
So the championship player
He plays.
Interesting.
He plays Rhino, which that empties on the number.
Yeah.
Um,
So championship play gives him a 47.2% chance.
so and
That's
in general, in very general terms, that often loses just
Wow.
because if Austin can keep pace, he'll get 2 more
Yes.
turns, and Harshan will get 1 more turn.
yes.
Obviously, the actual pull and what scoring opportunities are available makes that incredibly variable.
Yeah. Harshan does have Irived
Yes,
from
he-
N4.
Yeah, Erived N4 would dump a lot of stuff.
Austin has a beautiful play down the side of wheels, which is Canard,
Yeah.
which is 100% win. But he's got more obvious things like Dahl down the side from A1. I have to say, I think Rhino was an error. This was going to be a race to go out first, particularly given that Harshan has also given away the 5 points in a challenge which I'm surprised he made.
Yeah, that's a nerves challenge.
It's time pressure challenge.
Time
Yeah.
pressure. It wasn't the play he was expecting to come down probably.
And Harshan must have gone over on time by now as well.
Well, it's Austin. Austin had about 4 minutes to go. They've covered the clock with the bag. Oh, no.
Harshan's got 33 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
and
Yes.
Austin is just under 3 minutes. So
But yeah, Canard. Is not easy to spot in these kinds of situations. Dahl is, because it's the prime spot on the board. And the one remaining 100% win, which is Lyman from H2 down. Probably not something you'd think you'd see straight away.
I'm assuming that play.
But it looks
assumes
like
that you can spot Canard.
he's
as
picking
well.
up the tiles to play Canard, and that's a great play if he spots it. This is one that Harshan will not be able to duck, I'm afraid.
Oh.
security. Excuse me,
Yeah.
security.
That was good. I liked it.
Ah, he's put it back on again. Well, the question is he... Yeah. Is he playing Canard? Is there any reason he'd be picking out those tiles?
Oh, yes.
Good play.
There it goes.
Yes.
Good play, good play.
Very
Bravo.
nice. Very nicely done.
Bravo.
That should seal the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Austin 419, Harshan 402. Harshan 33 seconds left to work out how he lost this one.
Well,
He throws down
he
Erived,
rived.
Yeah.
which is probably
Irived is
Yeah,
best,
is
but
best.
loses. So as things look, unless Austin plays a phony, we're looking at 1-1 in this matchup
Excellent.
between Austin. The scoring seems to have resumed. Shin and Harshan
and
Lamabadusuriya.
for what looks like the
went out.
high
Yeah,
score.
he went out with Lyman,
Yeah,
which
nice.
is plenty.
Good play.
Looks like it's being challenged.
He has to challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it loses in it either way. So it goes Erived
Wow.
and Lyman and +5.
Yeah.
There it is. Well done,
Well
Austin
done,
Shin,
Austin. Clutch play.
tying the.
Tying the
Tying the
match.
series at 1-1.
1-1.
Tying the match at 1-1. From the other room, the game has finished. We were awaiting a result. At one point, it was 326 Gautam to 379 Eldar with a few tiles in the bag, but they have finished, and we will be letting you know what the result is in a moment. And we will have hopefully both of them in, both Austin and Harshan, for short interviews in which neither of them will swear for.
I mean, it's fascinating that what turned this game was the wrong play of Yegi's. But it turned out well.
Yeah.
Yep.
As often happens in Scrabble, sometimes it's timing rather than playing the perfect play.
Yep.
But well done both. A very well played game.
Yeah, and it's a final from the other room. Gautam 489, David Eldar 422. So both semifinal matches are tied at 1 apiece. And we will have David Eldar back on the commentary board next round, I assume.
Yeah.
Mhm.